What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome back to my channel for another segment of Infinite Cringe. And today we're going to be talking about Sydney Sweeney. Sydney. Oh my. Now, I will say off the bat that Sydney is not cringe. That's not why I'm doing this video. I'm doing this video because I think the media and Hollywood are cringe. And I wanted to talk about that with you guys. But before we get into everything, make sure you hit the like, share the video, and subscribe if you're new here, and leave a comment because the YouTube algorithm loves it when you guys comment and it helps all of us creators. Okay, so as I said, we are talking about Sydney Sweeney, who seems to be in the news all the time lately. Last week, she completely took over my Twitter feed with what she wore at the Variety Power of Women event, where she was honored for her work with the National Center of Domestic and Sexual Violence. And she dedicated her award to boxer Chrissy Martin, whom she's going to portray in the upcoming biopic Christy. I'm not usually into biopics, but I'm actually looking forward to watching this movie because I'm a fan of Sydney Sweeney and I really want to see her acting chops. The film already has Oscar buzz, so I definitely wouldn't be surprised if she snags a Best Actress nomination. That dress, though, oh my goodness. Woo wee. Sydney, my goodness, she was everywhere on my timeline. And honestly, I didn't mind it because my feed is usually filled with a lot of depressing stuff. So this was a welcome sight. Not everyone loved the dress though. I know Megan Kelly had some comments, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Anyway, a few days before that, Sydney was also featured by Variety magazine, who did a profile piece on her. Sydney Sweeney on Bond Girl Rumors, Oscar contender, Christy, and defying the sex symbol label you shouldn't have to hide or cover up in any room. So I figured I'd go through the article, talk about some of the stuff there, and discuss a few other takes about Sydney that's going on online and see what you guys think. Let's skip to the part that I found super cringe in the Variety article. I have very strong eyebrow muscles, she says, as she demonstrates an impressive brow furrow. And I had someone tell me to fix my face or else I'm not going to make it. I should get Botox. I was 16. Or I'm in a casting and I'm reading my scene and the casting director is eating a bag of chips and I'm like, you're not paying attention at all. Then she says, I've never gotten anything done. I'm absolutely terrified of needles. No tattoos, nothing. I'm going to age gracefully. It's really funny. I see things online like comparison pictures. I'm like, I'm 12 in that photo. Of course, I'm going to look different. I have makeup on now and I'm 15 years older. The notion that Sydney Sweeney was asked to get Botox at age 16 is so cringe and unfortunately very believable, especially in Los Angeles. And I talked to some people who've said, yeah, she's got a really great body, but kind of a basic face. And honestly, I think that's exactly why men find her so attractive and what makes her really interesting. I think a lot of men are tired of seeing overt plastic surgery, Botox, filler faces on women, especially younger women, that even more than her body, they're drawn to her natural beauty. Sydney, by her own admission, wears very little makeup day to day and has done a lot of movies where she's not super glammed up. In this interview, Sydney talks about how a lot of her movies are not roles that are super glammed up.
Is that just stripping it back and getting the wig and no makeup? You know, we're always so used to seeing you so glamorous and gorgeous, and this is so different.
I feel like most of my films I'm not glamorous. Most of my movies I don't wear any makeup in. Like Reality I didn't, Eden I didn't, Americana I didn't. A lot of them I didn't.
But every time you step out on the red carpet, it's a whole other story.
And you can kind of tell that the interviewer hasn't really seen much of her work because she's right. And Eden, which is one of her more recent movies, and I absolutely loved, by the way, go and check it out. It's a really good movie. She was not glammed up in that movie. And in her other recent movie, Echo Valley, she also played a drug addicted train wreck and definitely did not look very good in that movie. And in White Lotus, which is the first thing that I saw her in, she plays a very like cash teenager who's there with her parents in a vacation setting Again, not wearing makeup. She's always just had a very natural look. And I've always thought that's part of what makes her so alluring to men, not just because of her assets, though let's be real, they help, but because she feels real and down to earth. So, as I said, she's been all over my timeline. And one thread that really cracked me up was this one here where this person was comparing her to Miss Universe Victoria Karatilvik. I hope I said that right. The first thread said, Miss Universe is 100 times more beautiful than Sydney Sweeney, and it's not even close. A lot of people disagreed. So someone else made another thread saying the original poster chose a hyper edited photo such that Miss Universe looked like every other Insta model. Let's try this again. Men, based on these pictures, solely, which woman do you find more objectively attractive? Girl next door Sydney Sweeney or unattainable Miss Universe? And she still got similar responses. I wasn't surprised because, again, what's most attractive about Sydney isn't just her physical features. It's that she has that girl next door vibe. So, in the original thread, an account by the name of Cultural Allen made a really great point that I think nails the reason why so many men find her so attractive. Sweeney looks attainable to most men. That's why she looks so attractive to so many. She isn't so strikingly beautiful that only the highest value men could be with her, but she still has a high degree of natural beauty. Remember the girl in high school who was captain of the cheerleading squad? So beautiful that only the jocks could be with her? Sweeney is not that girl. She's the cute one who was on the flag team. She looks like someone you grew up with, your next door neighbor crush. The childhood friend you rode bikes with until the street lamps came on. Oh, that's really sweet. She was the girl that worked at Bath and Body Works in the same mall where you worked at Electronics Boutique and you'd find excuses to go in just to talk to her. You can really tell this guy's age because, as far as I know, malls are kind of over in the States. While her celebrity status makes her unattainable, she doesn't look the part. She looks like a cute girl you might pass on the sidewalk on a Wednesday morning or bump into at a dog park. Also, she has great knockers. That last line. That's funny. What do you guys think of that? Do you agree with him? Who do you find more beautiful, Sydney Sweeney or Miss Universe Victoria? I mean, she's pretty too, but I agree. She's kind of like she's like an 11. She seems a little bit too plasticky. She kind of does. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Back to the Variety interview. She also addressed her rumored relationship with her Anyone But You co-star Glenn Powell. Honestly, the press did it themselves. There was no leaning in per se, she insists. Truly, the tabloids and journalists just created it and kept going. Even if we were just standing next to each other, it was they're standing 2 inches apart. Glenn and I genuinely care for each other and have a love and respect for one another. I love being with him, and I think people just truly saw a really beautiful pairing. And this is where she shows how smart she is with handling the media because she was asked about the James Bond thing on this interview, and this is what she answered.
To ask you about, you asked about playing a Bond girl.
Yeah, this is like the talk of the town. I don't know
It
what
really is, Sydney.
I don't know why.
So what was it you actually said? You said you would prefer to be James Bond than?
Well, I feel like James Bond has all the cool stuff that he gets to do.
Very true.
That feels like it'd be way more fun.
Would you find that really empowering to be the first female James Bond?
I'd want a whole different story. I mean, James Bond is iconic. I don't want to mess up with what everybody like praises and loves. I always feel like it should stay James Bond. But if there's something else for me that's along the lines of that, maybe. I don't know. I feel like this is just like a press thing that everybody came up with.
But you're not going to say no to being a Bond girl, right?
I don't know. They haven't come to me.
We're just putting it out there. We're putting it out
I feel like everyone else is putting it out here, and I'm like, I haven't even seen a script, so.
So as you can see how she laughed off that question and she said that James Bond should be left alone because you shouldn't really mess with something people love. That is an answer that everybody wants to hear. The media was, of course, trying to create another buzz, but Sydney handled it perfectly. I play a lot of very divisive characters, and I think a lot of people think they know me, but they don't. So when people think, she's a sex symbol or she's leaning into that, I'm like, no, I just feel good and I'm doing it for myself. I feel strong, and I hope that I can inspire other women to be confident and just flaunt what they've got, because you shouldn't have to apologize or hide or cover up in any room. I think that comment really connects with what that Twitter thread was talking about. She's confident and comfortable in her own skin, which is, dare I say, pretty empowering. I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but in this case, it's actually true. She's not doing this for validation. She's doing it because she feels good about herself. That's what real confidence looks like. Owning who you are without apology. And that's basically what she's saying here. Being an actress is a lot harder to stand in the room and demand your worth and for people to look at you and value you, she said. I have to remind myself, like, hey, Sid, you're actually powerful. Stand up a little taller. And she is powerful. She absolutely owned that moment in that dress. People use the word stunning a lot on social media, but this was one of the rare times where it actually fits. She completely overtook the internet, but of course, not everyone loved it. Megyn Kelly and Ally Beth Stuckey had some things to say about it.
She was on the red carpet last night, and she decided to show off her number one asset, which, contrary to the American Eagle jeans ad, is not really her jeans. It's her enormous breasts, which are spectacular. No one would take that away from her. But controversial opinion, Allie, I object to this. I disapprove of the dress she wore because it's completely see-through. You can see her entire nipples. She reminded me of Kim Kardashian, who overshares and then takes away the thing that is the sexiest, which is every guy's hoping to be the one who actually sees them for real and leaving a little to the imagination. Now, I know this is being universally celebrated online, but I have to say, even though Sydney Sweeney fan, love the jeans campaign, I thought this was a rare misstep. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, she's absolutely beautiful, and no one at all is trying to deny that. But I am definitely pro modesty. It's not that I'm pro burqa, but I think that we should do everything we can to draw the eyes to the beauty of the face. There's nothing wrong with a womanly figure. I think that God made it and it is beautiful. And there's a way to dress that with dignity and respect. But I feel like we could draw the line at areola. I don't know.
Yes.
I just feel like maybe
draw the line at areola. That should be the rule.
T-shirts.
Megyn is conservative, obviously, but I talked to a friend of mine who isn't conservative, and I sent her the picture where the dress dropped. And the first thing she said was, "We get it. You have tits." You know what? I kind of get it from both sides, because there's a part of me that's more conservative that prefers that women leave something to the imagination, that we've kind of lost touch with what's considered sensual and seductive versus here are my nipples. You know what I mean? But then there's the other more liberal part of me that's you go, girl. Show up what you got. You're young and beautiful and confident, and you've got nothing to be ashamed of. I personally didn't actually love the dress itself because I thought it kind of looked like a plastic bag. But if anyone was going to pull it off, it was Sydney Sweeney. And she did. Let me know what you guys think of the dress down below, though, because obviously a lot of people thought it was a great dress, but I thought it was all right. It was an okay dress, but what it did was kind of amazing. All in all, I think Sydney Sweeney is a breath of fresh air in Hollywood, which is kind of weird to say because she's bringing that old school Hollywood back. She reminds me of a modern day Marilyn Monroe, like a bombshell star who's actually in control of her own image this time. She's acting, she's producing, and soon she'll probably be directing. She's not really letting anyone box her in, but what I admire most about Sydney is her stance against against the toxic beauty standards. The fact that she's rejecting Botox and fillers and wanting to age naturally and gracefully. I love that. Can we get more of that, please? We need more women like her changing the culture around what beauty means. So what do you guys think of all of this? Do you guys want to see Sydney Sweeney as a Bond girl, or maybe you're weird and you want to see her as Bond? That's okay too. Leave comments. Let me know what you guys think. What did you guys think of the dress? Who do you think is prettier, her or Miss Universe? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like, share the video, and subscribe if you're new here. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.